Welcome, Stachers. It's Monday, the 18th. FYI, Stachers, to my local Stachers I watch every day. This will be the last episode for a week because I'm going to Washington, D.C. with my parents starting on Tuesday. So today's episode, Monday, the 18th, will be the last episode probably for the week. I'm not quitting. I'm just going to Washington, D.C. with my family. So don't worry, I'll be back next week. But we'll start off with the bad. The bad thing this week is the Pirates got swept by the Philadelphia Phillies. That's not good, and Paul Skeens didn't look good today. But I know Paul Skeens will bounce back because Paul Skeens is one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, and I know he'll bounce back. Since the Philadelphia Phillies seem to have our number. Since the Philadelphia Phillies have fired a manager, they've been on a hot streak, and they really went for us. We should have won the first game, but like I said, it was our bullpen in the first game that messed up the first game. I don't know what happened to the Pirates and why the bullpen messed up the first game, but the Pirates bullpen messed up the first game and didn't help. It wasn't good, but the Pirates bullpen messed up the first game, but they should have won. I mean, we did have a good chance to win that game, and we blew it. The last game, we got beat bad, 6-0 or whatever it was. In the other game, we didn't score one run. I know the hitting's been good, but the hitting, for some reason, was stale the last two games. I know it was switch off. The Pirates have an off game before playing the St. Louis Cardinals in a series. But we'll go over all those games I missed in my recap video on the next Monday when I come back from my vacation to Washington, D.C., where the president lives, or where the White House is, or where taking the Amtrak train to Washington, D.C. from Pittsburgh. I've never been on a train before, but I haven't been to Washington. My old two brothers have been to Washington, D.C., but I haven't been to Washington. But today's episode is going to mainly focus on Aaron Rodgers. The wait is finally over! Aaron Rodgers has finally signed, according to Adam Schefter and Tom Pelissero and a lot of other media outlets, to the Steelers for 1 year, $22 million. If I can go up to $25 million of incentives. I mean, that's a lot more money than Aaron Rodgers was making last year. But now he's reunited, and it feels so good. Reunited, and I understood. Reunited with Mike McCarthy. Hopefully they actually win some football games. Reunited, and it feels so good. Reunited with Big Mike McCarthy. But Aaron Rodgers is reunited with Mike McCarthy. Interesting fact that I'll probably say again in this video. Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy were the last team that Steelers lost to in Super Bowl 45. We won 43 against the Cardinals. But in Super Bowl 45, we lost to the Packers 31-25 in 2011. And ironically, Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback and Mike McCarthy was the head coach. I think this could be the first time, which if I'm wrong, please let me know down below in the comments, Stachers that are avid football aficionados. But this could be the first time ever that a head coach and the quarterback are reuniting and on a team that they beat in their only Super Bowl win for Aaron Rodgers. But that's quite impressive that Aaron Rodgers beat the Steelers. Who would have thought so many years ago that Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy would be reunited from the good old Green Bay Packers days on the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team they beat in the Super Bowl 45. But that's quite impressive, and I think Green Bay was even a halftime show, but I could be wrong. But one of them was, Black Eyed Peas, somebody was, I don't know. That's beyond the point. But who would have thought that after 2011, when we're in 2026, that Aaron Rodgers and Big Mike McCarthy be reunited once again on the Pittsburgh Steelers, the team that they beat in the Super Bowl. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that if you would guess all my money. But a lot of these experts, like Andrew Filipponi and all these other people, are complaining about why would we want to run it back. I mean, Aaron Rodgers probably gives you the best chance to win, to be quite honest. Maybe win 10 or 9 or more games than the other guys. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Will Howard or Drew Howard might be good. But you don't know how good they're going to be because Will Howard and Drew Howard are still rookie quarterbacks, and you don't know how good they're going to be. You don't know how good they pan out. And we know Aaron Rodgers is the first ballot Hall of Famer, 4-time MVP quarterback. And yes, I do realize he's going to be 42, 43 this year, and Father Time could catch up. But unlike last year, when we had Calvin Austin, he's only 5'9", 2 inches taller than me, no matter what Robbie Snyder says. I'm 5'7". That guy always lies, but whatever. But he's only 2 inches taller than me. He was 5'9", I don't know how much he weighed. But now we have Michael Pittman Jr. and we have Jeremiah Bernard, or Jeremy Bernard. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. Bernard from Alabama, but we got in the second round. So we finally have Michael Pittman. We traded for Michael Pittman after the Indianapolis Colts gave Alex Pierce a mega contract. They had to get rid of one of the receivers because they have Josh Downs, I think is his name, or Downs, and have other receivers. So they had to get rid of one of the receivers, and we swapped late round picks for Michael Pittman Jr. But Michael Pittman Jr. was one of the good Colt receivers, so I was really glad when we got Michael Pittman Jr. But now Aaron Rodgers has more receivers to do it with. I mean, I know the offensive line should be able to get older and grasp, but it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be blocking. Because last year, Rodgers Jones got hurt of a neck injury, and we don't know if Rodgers Jones will be back this year, or will Rodgers Jones be back or not, or will we have Dylan Cook? I mean, I know we did get Onachor in the first round, and we got. I know we got Onachor in the first round, and we got another offensive guard, and we're really focused on our offensive line. So it's going to be interesting to see what Jennings Dunker. It's going to be interesting to see what the offensive line can do. I know Mike McCarthy is an offensive-minded coach, and it's going to be interesting because Aaron Rodgers had all those years in Green Bay with Mike McCarthy. I know his play system might change a little bit, but he probably has a lot of his play system still. As you can see back there, I have my Aaron Rodgers t-shirt hanging up because if you missed the first part of the video, Aaron Rodgers officially has signed, according to media reports. I mean, I guess it could still be wrong, but Aaron Rodgers has officially signed to a 1-year, $22 million contract worth $5 million, or with up to $25 million with incentives. But right now it's $22 million. I mean, he only made like $15 million or something last year, so he's making a lot more money this year. I mean, I think it's good because he's going to have to pay for to have a good quarterback. And Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback, even though he's old. I mean, I know he did have a crappy playoff game, but some of that was we didn't have receiver help. I mean, let's be real, chat and Stashers. Our really only good receiver last year was DK Metcalf. I mean, I know we did have Calvin Austin, but Calvin Austin was a little small, and when you're small like that and you're a small cat, the receivers are going to know, the defenders are going to know to try to block a better receiver, which is DK Metcalf. So I think this year, having Michael Pittman Jr., maybe having Jeremiah Bernard, and maybe they might finally throw down the freaking middle of the field, but they seem to have trouble with during Mike Thomas' era. They might throw down the middle of the field, we might get Pat Fryer move, and we might get Mount Washington more involved in the offense and Mike McCarthy's offense. It's going to be interesting to see what Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers can do, being reunited, and it feels so good. It's going to be interesting to see what Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy can do in Pittsburgh. I can't believe that Big Mike and Aaron Rodgers are reunited in Pittsburgh yet again. Like I said earlier in the video, it's probably the first time that a quarterback that in his last Super Bowl win was against the team that he beat, and the head coach was the team they beat, and now they're reunited on the team they beat in the Super Bowl, in Super Bowl 45 in 2011. Yes, I know that's sad, but some teams haven't won a playoff game since 2000, the Miami Dolphins. But Jennings Dunker is a guard that we got too. So would Jennings Dunker be in the offensive line? Or would Onachor be on the offensive line? Or are we going to have Rodgers Jones? I know they didn't pick up Rodgers Jones' 5th-year option, which means he's a free agent this year. But how bad is his neck injury? Because he did get Onachor in the first round after we lost out on getting Lemon. But I think that's a blessing in disguise, because I think Lemon's going to be a head case. But that's another story for another day. But Jennings is from Iowa, and he has a nice mole and nice hair. So it's going to be interesting to see what the offense looks like. I know we'll have Frazier at the one guard. We'll have... Frazier at one spot. And Zach Frazier at center. We might have Cook or somebody else, and for Rodgers Jones, if Rodgers Jones can't start right away, Dylan Cook. We got Greg Kaplan, a backup center. And Troy Fontanu, he might move over. That's the name I was trying to think of. We got Troy Fontanu. We got Zach Frazier from last year. Maybe Rodgers Jones, but I don't know how Rodgers Jones' injury is going to hold up. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting year to see what happens to the Steelers this year and see how good they are. We got Brock Hoffman too. Brock Hoffman is one of the key offensive depth pieces on our offensive line. Rodgers Jones, but I don't know if he's going to be able to play. And other people. But like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with our offensive line. I mean, yes, I do realize in the other episodes to come at me, I did say I wanted to see what Will Howard and Drew Howard can do. But I'm a diehard Steelers fan, so I'll be rooting really hard for whoever the quarterback is in Pittsburgh, no matter who it is. I'll be rooting really hard for whoever the quarterback is in Pittsburgh, and I'll be rooting really hard for Aaron Rodgers, whoever's behind Zach Frazier, putting his hands behind Zach Frazier to get the ball. And yes, Aaron Rodgers did look pretty good last year with the limited receiver help we had, and I do believe in my hearts of hearts, but we have a lot better receivers with Michael Pittman Jr., that we got from the Indianapolis Colts, and with Jeremiah Bernard. Michael Pittman Jr. is 6'4", which is really good for a receiver. That means he looks a lot taller, so he can go for the ball a lot better. He's 6'4", 237, 223. So that's good for a receiver. His wingspan is 6'7" feet. So that's definitely good. That'll definitely help Aaron Rodgers in his NFL career, and he had a really good year last year. Michael Pittman had 80 receptions last year on 111 targets for 784 yards and 7 touchdowns over 17 games. I mean, that's not bad, but he did have a crowded room. And I know he's going to have a crowded room this year. He did a lot better. Last year, Calvin Austin, who was our number 2 receiver, when we had other people who play for the New York Giants now, had a solid 20, finishing at 37 receptions for 327 yards and 3 touchdowns. So, let's go back. Michael Pittman Jr. has 784 yards and 7 touchdowns, 6.1 yard per average after each catch. Calvin Austin had 372 yards and 3 touchdowns on 55 targets, averaging 12 yards per catch. I'm not no mathematician. Math is not my strong suit, but for the last time I checked, Michael Pittman Jr. had a whole bunch of better numbers that last year compared to Calvin Austin, and he's a lot bigger. Calvin Austin is a lot taller, not bigger, probably bigger too. Calvin Austin is 5'9", 162. I mean, that's nice to have a speedy receiver, but he wasn't really speedy. I mean, he did get out a couple of times and was a little gadgety, but the Steelers could not figure it out. I don't know if John Harbaugh and the New York Giants could figure him out, or if he'll get lost in the fold over there, because they still have Malik Neighbors. They drafted somebody this year from the Notre Dame, I can't remember his name, and they still have Darius Slayton. So I don't know if he's going to be in that fold or if he's going to be lost in the field, like they say, lost sheep in the field. But we'll see. And I know Jeremy Bernard is coming up. Let's see. I know it's college. Jeremiah Bernard had a 40-yard dash in 4.8 seconds, 10-yard blitz 1.5 seconds. College career stats. 2025, he has 64 receptions for 862 yards, 7 touchdowns, 18 rushing touchdowns, and 2 touchdowns, and 2 passing yard touchdowns. That's a lot better than Howard Austin. I think Jeremiah Bernard is slotted into our number 3, and we'll see if Roman Wilson gets any playing time if Roman Wilson's on his way out. That leads me to another question about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now with Aaron Rodgers signing, right there, Rodgers. Now with Aaron Rodgers signing, who is the odd man out? Because you doubt when they have the final 53 that the Steelers will have 4 quarterbacks. And this is not saying anybody gets banged up like William Howard did last year, and they prolonged his injury, in my personal opinion. But this is not saying that anyone gets banged up. But my personal opinion is who's going to take over for Aaron Rodgers? Who would be the backups? Do you go 2 rookie backups that never played before? I know William Howard technically has a year under his belt, but he didn't play a snap last year because he hurt his thumb in the preseason and didn't get into any game action in the regular season. So he was all out. He hurt his thumb in training camp or one of the early on ones before preseason started. So he didn't really play at all in the preseason. So they didn't really have any playing time at all. And we do have Drew Howard that has not yet taken an NFL snap. But we do have Mason Rudolph, who has an NFL experience. So do you have a veteran Mason Rudolph? I doubt it. I think Mason Rudolph, if I had to guess today and put my money on, I think Mason Rudolph would be the next man out. I mean, I could see them doing something because next in line probably Drew Howard. I think Drew Howard probably get higher on the pecking order since Drew Howard was drafted in the third round, 1, 2, 3. Third round, and William Howard was drafted in the 6th round of the year before. But another theory from some of these local Pittsburgh sports people on 93.7 The Fan that I like to listen to, or the nightly sports call on KDKA Plus and 93.7 The Fan sometimes, say that they could move William Howard down. They could try to move William Howard down to the practice squad, and try to see if they can get into the practice squad. But the problem with that is any team could pick up anybody on a practice squad. So if they really believe all the hype they were talking about William Howard, I mean, I know they still drafted a quarterback, but maybe next year when Aaron Rodgers does retire, because I think it's only a 1-year deal with Aaron Rodgers for 1 year for $22 million. That could go to $25 million with incentives. But with Aaron Rodgers only here for 1 year, I think I know Aaron Rodgers will probably mentor him, but him only probably being here for 1 year, because I doubt he'll come back after this, regardless of how the season goes, good, bad, or horrible, or Super Bowl win, whatever. I'm not saying we're going to win a Super Bowl, but that's just the highest we can do in the NFL world. But whatever, I think Aaron Rodgers will retire after this year. And they brought in Mike McCarthy because Mike McCarthy's good at making quarterbacks and good at grooming quarterbacks. So that's one reason why they brought in Mike McCarthy, too, is to groom quarterbacks. So he has 2 of them work with Drew Howard and William Howard. So I don't know if they're going to try to move William Howard to the practice squad. And if no one gets hurt and prolong an injury like they did for William Howard last year, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with William Howard and the Steelers. Will the Steelers... So that's why I think Mason Rudolph would be the next man out. That's why I think Mason Rudolph would be the odd man out. I mean, Mason Rudolph is a good quarterback, but maybe you can ship him off somewhere that needs a veteran quarterback and get some draft capital out of him, and maybe try to use that draft capital and move up next year in the draft, regardless of how the Steelers do, to get a quarterback if they don't trust one of these guys or have 3 rookie quarterbacks next year. But I mean, I get the thing. Well, we have a 43-year-old quarterback, so they might want a veteran experience behind him. But I don't know. I mean, if I was a coach, I'd probably go with 2 rookie quarterbacks and just cross that bridge if we come to it. Hopefully we don't come to it and we can figure it out. Hopefully we don't come to it and Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy all year. But you never know with how the year goes and how people play football. They could go on a chair and go somewhere bad. But you never know how football is. I mean, football is a dangerous game. no matter how old or how young you are. But that's what I think. I think they go with the 2 rookie quarterbacks. I'll keep you up to date. But I'm just so glad that Aaron Rodgers finally signed before mandatory OTA and we could get done with the saga and nobody's back. I'm so glad that Aaron Rodgers is back. I think Aaron Rodgers does give us the best chance of winning. And like I said earlier in the video, I think we have a lot better receiver help. And our tight ends help with pass rush movement. Matt Washington will definitely help. And we do have good running backs in Jalen Warren and Rico Dabo now. Rico Dabo is a 1,000-yard rusher the last 2 years. And I think under Mike McCarthy's era, I know he was with Mike McCarthy when Mike McCarthy was with the Dallas Cowboys, the Cowgirls. I think Rico Dabo will be good, and I think Jalen Warren will be good. It's going to be interesting to see what our offense can do and to see what they can do. I just hope that Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy get along and don't butt heads. Best of you don't what? You don't want the coach and quarterback butting heads and not agreeing with each other. You want to be peachy and have a coach agree with each other. I know some of these people like Andrew Filipponi don't want this, so maybe the Steelers are going to win a Super Bowl because the last stuff that Andrew Filipponi's tweeted have been coming out wrong. So hopefully this one's wrong too, and Aaron Rodgers had a good year. I don't know what to expect. Maybe 9 or 10 wins. I mean, we didn't make the playoff last year with Aaron Rodgers, and in my opinion, we didn't have the best receiver help last year with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But now with Aaron Rodgers in fold, we do have a lot better receiver help. With Aaron Rodgers in the fold, we do have a lot better receiver help. I know Aaron Rodgers is old, but he's still a Hall of Fame quarterback, and he's still in shape and still working out. Not only to have sex with his wife, like he said on the Pat McAfee show, excuse me, but that's what he said on the Pat McAfee show a few months ago now, when he was on there, when I thought, oh, he's going to sign in a preseason, and it took all the way this long until they finally signed last night before the UFC fight started. He signed last night around 7 or 8 o'clock when I saw my phone from Adam Schefter first, and then I saw from Tom Paracello, some trustiness. I know this could be a big egg in my face, and he could not still sign, but I trust those 2 sources, and I trust other sources too. Even Bob Pompiani posted it, and Andrew Filipponi posted it, and all these other local experts here that are highly recognized around the medias. So I trust that Aaron Rodgers will sign. But I mean, $22 million, I could go up to $25 million. That's a lot of money. But that's great for Aaron Rodgers. I'm glad he's back. Like I said, I kind of want to see what a rookie quarterback can do. But if I'm going to be a realist Steelers fan, Aaron Rodgers probably gets us the best chance of winning right now than does William Howard. Aaron Rodgers back there. You can see it in the video. Number 8, Aaron, Mr. Discount Double Check, Mr. Rodgers Neighborhood, Rodgers in the Three Rivers. Come on, Rodgers, take me home. Reunited and it feels so good. Reunited with Big Mike McCarthy. Reunited with my old head coach. Let's hope it goes smoothly well. But now Aaron Rodgers is signed. Last night the Buffalo Sabres won 8-3. 14 Game 7 on Monday. I think the Buffalo Sabres won on Monday because today, I think the Buffalo Sabres won today. Forced going on to play Carolina. That's going to be a tough series. Whoever wins that, if it's Carolina, or if it's Buffalo, or if it's the Montreal Canadiens, because the Carolina Hurricanes have yet to lose a playoff game and looking really hot. But I know the Carolina Hurricanes have yet to lose a playoff game. So that's going to be tough to see what happens to the Carolina Hurricanes. That's going to be tough to see what happens with the Carolina Hurricanes. But I think the Buffalo Sabres win. The Detroit Pistons are losing 41-26 right now in the second period. I don't know if they can come back. Will Cleveland hold on or will Detroit come back? I say Detroit doesn't come back and Cleveland moves on to play the New York Knicks. But I could be wrong. It's only the second quarter and but Cleveland's up by a lot. So will Cleveland hold off? You never know. But I think Cleveland holds off tonight. Cleveland. Oh wait. I think Cleveland wins. Whatever. Tomorrow night is game 1 between Oklahoma City and tonight, Monday. Trying to mix them up. Tonight, Monday, is Game 1 between the San Antonio Spurs and Oklahoma City Thunder at 8:30 on NBC. I think Oklahoma City takes Game 1, but I think it's close. I think Victor Yamba has a close game and maybe edits it out, but I think Oklahoma takes it at the end. That's going to be one of the best series probably right now. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. That's going to be one to decide who goes to the finals. The San Antonio Spurs have been giving them a run for the money. Will the San Antonio Spurs do it tomorrow night? I don't know. I think I see the Oklahoma City Thunder winning Game 1, but maybe the Spurs taking Game 2. On Saturday night, the Buffalo Sabres won 8-3, and they take on the Montreal Canadiens tonight at 7:30 on ESPN. I think the Buffalo Sabres win Game 7 and go on to play Carolina. But like I said, that's going to be a tough series because Carolina has yet to lose a playoff game. Buffalo Sabres won 8-3 last night, and 2 nights ago, Montreal, don't know what date it is. Rasmus Darlin scored, assisted by Matthew Solomon and Zach Benson. Jason Zucker scored on a power play. Wow, I didn't know Jason Zucker was on the Buffalo Sabres. Jason Zucker used to be on the Pittsburgh Penguins a long while ago. I did not know he was on the Buffalo Sabres, but he scored a power play goal, assisted by Josh Norris and Jack Quinn. Zach Benson scored. Zach Benson is looking like one of these young upcoming stars for the Buffalo Sabres. I can't believe how good Zach Benson is. It's assisted by Chase Thompson, a young and upcoming star, and Bowen Bryam. Jack Quinn on the power play, assisted by Rasmus Darlin and Chase Thompson. Cosmin Hersey, I don't know how to pronounce it, Jason Zucker. Wow, Jason Zucker had a good night, and that's a Penguin player. That's great. Rasmus Darlin scored unassisted. Jack Quinn on the power play, assisted by Chase Thompson and Rossi Darman. Chase Thompson, an empty netter, and Zach Metessa on the power play. They had 1, 2, 3, 4 power play goals, and all Buffalo Sabres scored. If the Buffalo Sabres can do that on a power play, the Buffalo Sabres would be sure to make on to the next series if a goaltender can be good. But that's something they're going to need in Game 7 is have a good goaltender play. But that's also something you need as a good hockey team to have a good power play, and that's something they had in Buffalo. And if they can do that again and tomorrow night, or if they can do that tonight, Monday night, then they'll be moving on to play Carolina. And I think they move on to play Carolina. Yesterday's baseball games, the Tampa Bay Rays won 6-3. The Braves won 8-1. The Phillies won 6-0. Boo! The Cleveland Indians won 10-3. The Mets won 7-6. That's good for the Mets. The Blue Jays won 4-1. The Cubs won 8-9. Or the White Sox won 9-8. Can't read. The Rangers won 8-0. The Dodgers won 10-1. Jeez, that's not fair. The Padres are winning 7-0, but I think the Padres will hold off and beat the Mariners tonight. The Baltimore Orioles won 7-3. The Twins won 5-4. The Cardinals won 2-0, or the Royals won 2-0. The Diamondbacks won 8-6. The Giants won 10-1. That wasn't fair either. Last night, or Saturday night, was the Ronda Rousey fight. Boy, it wasn't a good fight. It wasn't one of the good fight. Ronda Rousey won in 10 seconds by armbar. That was quite impressive. Ronda Rousey won by armbar in 17 seconds. There was only one fight. The Mike Perry, a minute. There was only one fight, the co-main event, that lasted past one round. I mean, a lot of these fights ended in the first round. Robeis, ROBEISDESPANIGE defeated Junior Dos Santos via first round knockout punches at 2:59 of the fight. Sabalus, Salahidneparnasd defeated Kenneth Cross, via first round TKO by punches. At 4:18 of the match, Francis Ngannou, NNOU defeated Philip Lenz via first round KO by a punch at 4:31 of the match. This, the co-main event before, or I guess I call them all three main events. So the second main event, because the Francis Ngannou match and the Philip Lenz match was part of the three main events that Jake Paul and his partner were calling, the guy, if I can't remember his name, were calling the main event of MVP MMA 1. Mike Perry from Orlando, Florida, beat Nate Diaz, the hometown kid, for the second round TKO, corner stoppage. The reason the corner stoppage is because Nate Diaz's eye was all messed up, and he had a big cut on it, so he couldn't see shit out of his eye, so they had to cut the match. Excuse my language, but that's what he said. Well, he said other words about around a truck, what am I going to say on this podcast? But he said other words, I couldn't see shit, so that's why they called a match. I mean, Mike Perry won. That was 17 seconds. I tried to get a chip snack for the main event, and I only had one bite of my chips before the main event was over. Ronda Rousey beat Gina Carano by armbar submission of 17 seconds. 17 seconds. That's Ronda Rousey's 9th fight of her career, finishing under 1 minute. I mean, if you went to the bathroom during the main event and you were there, you're probably pretty ticked off because you missed the main event. I mean, I thought it was a good fight. My brother didn't watch it because he passed out. Or my brother didn't watch it because he was doing other stuff. But I talked to him today and he says it's worth watching. I'm like, I don't know. If you like knockouts, it's worth watching. I mean, besides the last match, I got caught out because the guy couldn't see out of his eyeball. All the fights are pretty good, I thought. But to be quite honest, I really hope that this MVP MMA can go on for a while. It can keep going on, because really we have Bellator MMA that might be competition to MMA or UFC. Excuse me, that's what I'm trying to think of. We have Bellator MMA that might be competition to UFC, but to be quite honest, we don't really have competition to UFC. I mean, there's really no other big brand. I mean, we have AEW to WWE. I know AEW is probably never going to reach WWE like MVP MMA probably will never reach WWE, but maybe they will, because during the match they called out during the second main event. Before the main event, they came out with breaking news on ESPN that Conor McGregor, yeah, let's go, the best Irish wrestler ever, fighter ever, will be coming back July 11th to fight in the Octagon in UFC. So I wonder if that was because they're starting to shaking their boots because of his MVP MMA. But I really hope Jake Paul is right, that he'll have more fights, because like I said, there's really no other card that has a fight. There's really no other card that has fights right now. That's really competition to MMA. But we'll see. But like I said, Stache, I will be off this week. I'll be going to Washington, D.C. But I really do hope his MVP MMA keeps going on, so we can have competition MMA. I don't know, or UFC. I don't know if it ever touched UFC. So I think UFC is like WWE, but nothing can touch it. But it's the best in this class. But we still need competition. It's having to try to make it have a run for its money, which I hope is MVP MMA by Jake Paul. But we'll see. I'm glad Aaron Rodgers is back, and I think Aaron Rodgers gives us the best chance. And like I said again, I'll be out starting tomorrow, for a whole week. I'm going to Washington, D.C. because my brothers have been there Boy Scouts, but I was too young to go Boy Scouts, so I've never seen Washington, D.C. But thank you for watching my videos. If you have any comments, please leave them down below, and I'll see you next week when Stache Sports comes back better than ever. But thank you for watching another episode of Stache Sports.